You ever scroll through Instagram, see someone doing yoga on a yacht while eating a perfectly peeled mango, and think, wow, I feel like a half deflated air mattress? Yeah, welcome to the spiritual sport of our generation, comparing yourself to people who probably spent 30 minutes choosing a filter. It is like emotional dodgeball, except the balls are insecurity and you are not allowed to leave the gym. Today on XQ, quick, funny explanations. We are unraveling the hidden costs of comparing yourself to others. And spoiler alert, the price tag is higher than the rent in a city with more dogs than affordable housing. So grab your self esteem, dust it off, and let us dive into why this brain habit is sneakier than your ex watching all your stories but never texting back. All right, so first, let us just admit it. Comparison is basically the unofficial hobby of all human beings with internet access. Psychologists actually have a name for it. It is called social comparison theory, thanks to a guy named Leon Festinger. Yes, that is a real name, not a pasta dish. He said that we humans have this almost magical desire to evaluate ourselves, but instead of using a measuring stick, we use other people. Sounds fun, right? Like trying to decide how tall you are based on someone else's shadow. The original theory says we constantly evaluate our own worth by comparing our skills, abilities, appearance, achievements, and makeup skills to others. But here's the fun part, and by fun I mean mentally exhausting. We usually compare up, meaning we look at people who are doing better than us or who seem to be, and then process that with the grace and maturity of a raccoon in a panic. Now, comparing up does not always have to be bad. Sometimes it is inspiring. If it leads you to set goals, take action, and grow, then great, high five, roll the credits. But the problem is that most social comparison is not about growth. It is about gossiping with your inner critic. It is like being in a group project with the mean version of yourself, and the only thing they bring is low self worth and gluten free despair. When you are constantly measuring yourself against someone else's highlight reel, you forget that your life has behind the scenes footage too, and it is messy and honest, and sometimes contains crying in a Trader Joe's parking lot because you forgot your reusable bags again. But that is human. Let us look at the hidden costs here. First off, mental health. Chronic comparison can kickstart anxiety, depression, and a feeling psychologists call chronic dissatisfaction, which basically means you could win a Nobel Prize while eating gold dusted cupcakes, and your brain would still be like, yeah, but Olivia just went skydiving with Oprah, so what even is the point? There is actual research backing this up. Studies have found that people who spend lots of time comparing themselves to others on social media report lower self esteem and higher stress levels, which makes sense, considering social media is like a curated museum of other people doing great things while you sit in sweatpants eating cheese directly from the block. But wait, there is more. Act now and get a free reduction in creativity. That is right, comparing yourself to others kills creativity quicker than a typo in a tattoo. When you are so focused on how everyone else is doing great, you are less focused on doing your thing, your way, in your style. It is like being a penguin in a peacock contest. You will never win by trying to out-peacock someone when you were born to waddle majestically across the icy plains of originality. Want another hidden cost? Decision paralysis. When you keep looking at how others are doing their lives, achieving goals, launching businesses, having picture perfect relationships, or at least posting cropped versions of them, it messes with your own decision making process. Instead of trusting your gut, you are out there outsourcing your self worth to strangers who do not even know how to change a tire. Classic overthinking move. Comparison is like a self esteem buffet, but everything on the table makes you feel worse and somehow gassy. Now, do not worry. This is not just a roast session. We are not here just to yell at your frontal lobe for being a judgmental weirdo. Science has some good news too. You can stop comparing yourself to others without having to move into a cabin in the woods or delete every app and start a stone tablet blog. There are tricks. Let us call them anti-comparison jujitsu. First, practice what the kids in lab coats call cognitive reframing. Translation: change the angle of the selfie your brain is taking. When you catch yourself comparing, ask, what part of this makes me feel insecure? If it is someone's amazing career, Maybe it means you actually want more purpose or creative fulfillment, not their exact job as professional underwater yoga mime. Use comparison as a flashlight, not a mirror. Let it reveal what matters to you instead of using it to measure your flaws. Next up, control your inputs. Social media is not the villain here, but it is like jalapenos in a sandwich. Great in small doses, dangerous if dumped in all at once. Curate your feed like you are your own emotional bodyguard. Unfollow accounts that make you feel like a couch potato with a receding hairline of ambition. Follow people who educate, inspire, and make you feel like you can be both a hot mess and a hot success at the same time. Big one coming: gratitude. Yeah, everyone says this, but here is why it actually works. When you focus on what you are grateful for, your brain builds what is called a positivity bias. It is like installing a filter in your mind where you notice more of what is going right. It is scientifically proven that gratitude activates dopamine and serotonin, those gorgeous feel good chemicals that make you feel like someone just told you your skin is glowing. Try writing down 3 things every day that you do well or appreciate. And yes, surviving Monday counts. Also, learn to set your own metrics for success. Why are you using someone else's scoreboard for your game? That is like judging a chess match with a football referee in roller skates. Your definition of success probably does not need to include earning 6 figures by 22 or owning a juice empire. Maybe it is being kind, getting more sleep, or learning how not to cry when your souffle collapses. Your scoreboard, your rules. Last strategy: humanize those you compare yourself to. That influencer with the beach body? They probably ate a questionable gas station burrito last week, just like the rest of us. That neighbor with the fancy car? He might cry to podcast commercials, we do not know. People are complex. No one is thriving in every area, all the time, and those who pretend to are either fictional or highly caffeinated. When you imagine the full messiness of everyone's journey, your own starts looking a lot less chaotic and a lot more just normal. So here is the wrap up. Comparing yourself to others is like putting your confidence in a blender that nobody asked to turn on. It drains your mood, stifles creativity, fogs up decision making, and gives your self worth the consistency of watery oatmeal. But when you notice it, reframe it, control your inputs, practice gratitude, set personal goals, and humanize the people you compare to, you take your emotional power back. Basically, you stop playing someone else's game in their stadium with their rules and start being the MVP of your own weird, wonderful, waffle filled life. So the next time your brain wants to spiral because some 17-year-old invented a new app while wearing pastel linen on a rooftop, remember, you are not behind. You are not broken. You are just working your plot twist. If this episode made you laugh, cry, laugh, or just feel 10% less crazy about comparing yourself to people with suspiciously perfect lives, let us know in the comments. We want to hear your funniest, weirdest, or most relatable comparison moments. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button on XQ, Quick Funny Explanations, where we break down big ideas faster than your cousin can finish a TED Talk and accidentally join a pyramid.